to Second Take. I'm your host, Matt Rahemba, and today we will be debating what everyone's talking about in the news. I'll be moderating all the madness between our two debaters today, so without further ado, let's bring them on in. Our first debater joining us tonight is the man, the myth, Taylor Neal, and next up is the one and only Jenna Malamud. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Not bad yourself.
All right, guys, let's waste no time. Let's jump right into our first topic, and the category is music, rap specifically. Taylor, I got to ask you, who is the better rapper? Is it Drake or is it J. Cole?
I'm going to have to go with Drake. He's got the most #1 Hot 100 rap and hip-hop singles of all time. And he's not even 30 years old. He has a Grammy. He's up for 8 this year. J. Cole has none of those things either. And his album, in less than 1 calendar year, just went 4 times platinum. Sold 1 million in 1 week. That hasn't been done since 2010. J. Cole can't say the same about any of those points.
Well, if you actually look at the substance of Drake's music versus J. Cole's music, J. Cole actually talks about real things, whereas Drake talks about going to the club and getting drunk and hanging out with girls, where J. Cole's actually talking about what's happening in his life, what's happening to his friends, and Drake has literally none of that, probably ever. He probably has a couple of songs about that, but nothing. And also, J. Cole just dropped False Prophets, which is a diss track against, Drake, so.
I would have to counter you and say that Drake gets criticized for being too open, too sensitive music. He talks about women's struggles, family problems. He also literally ended, for a short period of time, Meek Mill's career with a back-to-back. J. Cole can't do that, or
yeah,
hasn't
but
done
I also
that yet.
think that Drake just having like a joke, like social media presence, like J. Cole just like sits back and makes music, and he's not all over social media. He's not all over social media bashing other rappers. He's not concerned about that. He's concerned about making music.
But do you think he should have more of a presence on social media?
No,
like Drake, he connects with his fans on social media. He posts a lot on Instagram.
But I think that J. Cole's music speaks for itself. I don't think he needs to have a social media presence to be a successful rapper.
Drake's social media presence isn't a direct correlation of how he does commercially with music. He actually didn't promote views that much, and it still sold 1 million copies first week. All of his albums have debuted at #1, and his debut album sold over 400,000 copies. Take Care sold over 600,000. Nothing the Same, 600,000. What a Time to Be Alive came out of nowhere. That sold over 500,000 the first week. I mean, the guy just can't miss.
But you're also talking about how Drake went 4 times platinum, but J. Cole went double platinum with no features, and he's signed to Roc Nation, so he has Jay-Z behind him, and like a big name like Jay-Z behind you as a rapper.
Drake signed to Lil Wayne. I mean,
but Jay-Z also versus Lil Wayne. I feel like Jay-Z would win 9 times out of 10.
But we're talking about Drake.
I know, but
versus
you're
J. Cole.
trying to use that as a point against me. So.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to cut you off there, but since Drake has a house in Calabasas, right outside of the Los Angeles area, and J. Cole reps Queens, New York, let's talk about what city you guys think is the best. Jenna, do you think Los Angeles is better, or do you think the Big Apple, New York City is better?
Well, growing up on Long Island, I am a native New Yorker, and I would make trips into the city when I was a little kid. I still make trips into the city. I actually interned there last summer, so I was there every single day. I think that New York, it's not even a competition. New York is better than LA. New York, between the food, nobody's ever talking about Los Angeles pizza or Los Angeles bagels. I've never heard that. The atmosphere of New York City, it's the Big Apple, it's New York City. And I can't find an internship in LA, and I found one pretty easily in New York, so I think that's a big thing.
This is kind of tough for me to debate, seeing that I'm an East Coast guy. I was only in LA for a few short months, but I will take LA. It's warm 12 months of the year there. I mean, you have the Santa Monica Pier, you have Venice, you have Laguna, you have Malibu. There's just so much to do there. The weather's always warm. The beaches, you can go there every day if you wanted to, if you were a total bum. There are a lot of bums out there. I shouldn't be saying that because I'm arguing LA, but yeah, I will say LA.
There's a big thing is the public transportation in New York City. So the subway systems, I figured them out this summer. They're not very complicated, actually, in Manhattan. But the public transportation in LA doesn't even match. And the LA traffic is just so bad compared to New York City, where you can walk around so much faster and take public transportation to get everywhere instead of having to drive yourself. So
yeah, I can't really say much about the public transportation in LA. It is just god awful.
It's terrible.
But I want to get back to the weather again. You don't have to check in your phone to see if it's going to cold out today, if it's snowing. You can't wear a certain pair of shoes. You think they're going to get dirty because it's muddy out or whatever. It's literally always warm there. It basically never rains. Maybe that's why they're in a drought. I mean, there's something to be said about that. No?
But what do you have to say about people who love seasons and love seeing snow and you get the fall? You only really get just warm weather 24/7, 70s, 80s in Los Angeles.
I would say don't live in LA. That's really all you can say about
That's a good point.
And New York has every season. So if you want it to be warm out, if you want it to be cold out, you go to New York City.
All right, well, it's time for our last topic here. And since hockey season is well underway, we might as well talk about the two New York teams. We got the Rangers and we have the Islanders. Two teams with a lot of history. But Taylor, which team do you think stands out the most to you on the ice?
I'm going to have to say the Rangers. I believe they have the better goalie, maybe the best goalie in all of the NHL, and Henrik Lundqvist. God just looks tremendous in a suit, might I add. They've been more successful in the last 5 to 10 years. They've had deeper playoff runs. The Islanders just won the playoffs last year for the first time in a while. And the team is looking like they're maybe the best team in the NHL right now. They're in first in their division.
Okay, so but how many games have they played so far?
It's a fair sample size if it's
They've only played 25 games,
That's
so
a
all the
fair
Ranger fans
sample
talk about
size.
they're in first place. Shut up. It doesn't mean anything. The New York Islanders have been consistently bad. Okay, I will admit that. However, they are now an up-and-coming team. They are a bunch of young guys out on the ice. They're being led by guys who were born in 91, 92, 93. So they're being led, whereas the Rangers have a lot of older guys. You know, they also have young guys, but being led, I can't really argue against Henrik Lundqvist. I think he is a very handsome man. But the Islander fan base is also just I feel as an Islander fan, I'm in a much more loyal group of people than Ranger fans. Ranger fans, they have the same type of arrogance that, Cowboys fans, Yankee fans have, and they don't really have anything to show for it. They have one Stanley Cup in 1994, and that's literally it. They don't have the same track record as the Yankees or the Cowboys or even like the Canadians.
You mentioned the up-and-coming players on the Islanders. Aren't you a little bit all concerned that they won't be able to retain some of these players with their smaller cap size than the Rangers have?
But the thing is, a lot of young players want to come to the Islanders because they're seeing a lot of other really good young guys coming to the Islanders. So it's becoming like a hot commodity to be on the Islanders. So.
I feel like that you could say the opposite. If they keep attracting younger players, they can't hold on to all these. We saw it years past with DiPietro, whatever his name was, the goalie that you guys had. You guys lost him because couldn't retain.
He was the worst player ever.
You saw the same thing with the Sabres. They had a really good young team, and they lost these players, so they couldn't hold on to them.
All right, well, that's all we have for today here on Second Take. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. And thank you to our debaters today, Taylor Neal and Jenna Malamud. But that's all we have for today. We hope you have a great rest of your Thursday afternoon.
Turn up the bass, turn up the treble. I'm about to take it to a whole nother level. DJ, turn up what you're playing. I want the to hear what I'm saying. Because this girl means so much to me. And now we on the floor.